Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just a little under 2 months away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the big exciting aspects of Episode 9 is not just the return of Emperor Palpatine being portrayed by Ian McDiarmid once more in the story, but it's also the interactions between both Rey, Palpatine, Kylo Ren, etc., and exactly what that's going to look like on the big screen in motion once the actual movie releases come this December. Now, J.J. Abrams has a plan in place in order to make this by far the darkest Star Wars film there is, and a lot of it has all to do with Palpatine and his new Sith Empire, being the very core of the plot of this movie. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intense for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that Rey is said to be in a confrontation with Palpatine, where she is said to be defending a defenseless and injured Ben Solo, where Rey is said to deliver dialogue to Palpatine about his overconfidence, where Palpatine is described to begin to laugh at Rey, where he begins to raise his hands and points them at Rey, where his Force lightning initiates. It's described that in order for Rey to defend herself, she is said to tap into the dark side of the Force, where she too is able to create Force lightning that is said to collide with Palpatine's. As the two strikes of Force lightning collide between Rey and Sidious, it's explained that it begins to form a ball of energy in between it's slowly expanding, where eventually Rey is said to lose her grip, where it's said that she is said to let go on accident, where the lightning comes toward Rey, where it's said that she dodges the attack that is said to strike Palpatine's throne, causing it to shatter into pieces. Eventually, Palpatine begins to walk over to Rey, telling her about the Skywalkers and how he was surprised of Vader's turn to the light side of the Force based on his familial bond with his son Luke Skywalker. Rey is described to ignite both Leia and Luke's lightsabers and forming them as a cross, where Sidious shoots Force lightning as Rey is actually said to block the attack using the Skywalker family sabers. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that J.J. Abrams wanted to really evolve the character of Rey in Episode 9, giving her brand new powers in the film, not just the flash fights and, of course, the resurrection technique that she will actually be using in this film that essentially heals specific creatures and perhaps even Ben Solo later on in the film. But the fact that she's able to tap into the dark side of the Force and use Force lightning against Palpatine in order to defend Ben Solo, who at this point in time is injured and defenseless. And that to me sounds like a very interesting moment and does fall directly in line with the other leaks that she is indeed the granddaughter of Darth Sidious himself. So you can really see how they're using Rey as an example in order to use a dark side power against a dark and sinister figure such as Palpatine, to the point where you have to tap into the dark side to defeat him once and for all. After all, that's exactly what Luke Skywalker did against his own father, Darth Vader. He had to tap into the darkness for at least a minute or two in order to overcome Darth Vader and strike him down. Now, that to me is a very interesting side of the story here, is because if they are indeed related, like the leaks suggest, is that Rey is also tapping into the dark side to overcome Palpatine, just as Luke did with his own father, Darth Vader. Now, this particular scene is said to actually progress to a moment in which Palpatine's throne is said to actually shatter into pieces because the lightning actually strikes the actual throne that belongs to Palpatine because of the energy that was actually getting combined between Rey's Force lightning strike against Palpatine's Force lightning strike, creating a ball of energy in between. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that Episode 9 is going to be a very dark movie, and the third act, by far, is going to be the darkest point of The Rise of Skywalker, since it all takes place mostly on the world of Exegol, a major space battle with many different sacrifices and losses, and not to mention the big duel between Palpatine, Rey, and Kylo Ren, as well as new Force lore that will be discovered by our heroes and villains in this film. So that's the thing about JJ, is that he's really trying to create a very big Star Wars movie that's going to bring an epic end to the Skywalker saga. Now, with that being said, the fact that Rey is able to use Force Lightning, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be quite a number of fans out there that disagree with that idea and are not going to like that idea. But I, on the other hand, I think it actually is very cool to see that kind of thing happening. It would have been more, I guess you could say, satisfying for Ben Solo to be in a position like this where he's using Force Lightning against Rey, or should I say against Palpatine defending Rey, but the tables are turned here where it's Rey defending Ben Solo, and in order to do that she has to tap into the darkness in order to defeat Palpatine and or to overcome Palpatine, at least getting the upper hand during this battle, right, to even stand a chance at defeating him once and for all. So with that being said, guys, I would love to hear what you have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.